from the Liverpool supporters, and that was just chasing a lost cause.
That's the difference between the two teams. Son, who we haven't mentioned other than once this game, tries to run it past Salah and Bradley. Bradley comes in, tenacity, bang, have that, and then he chases down his second one with Jed Spence as well. Probably not a Liverpool corner, if I'm being totally honest, but his tenacity and his work rate deserves that, in my opinion.
Szoboszlai's gone across to take the corner over on the far touchline, the Liverpool right-hand side. The bearded Hungarian drives it in. It's headed away by Archie Gray. Gravenberch mop up and go back for Bradley, down to this near touchline, the Liverpool left-hand side for Curtis Jones. High up and under from him inside the penalty area that Kinski comes out and catches, but the flag is up. And it's a free kick to Spurs for the offside. 1-0 to Liverpool on the night, 1-1 on aggregate.
I think irrespective of what happens here, it's going to make for a very interesting listen on the way home tonight on the Sports Bar.
Jamie and Jason on 03717 223344. What will Jamie's reaction be if his beloved Spurs are eliminated tonight? You can get involved yourself after another big night in the Carabao Cup and have your say on the Sports Bar tonight. 1-0 to Liverpool at the moment, 1-1 the aggregate score. Spurs able to bring the ball forward. Sliding challenge coming in. Konate then steps up from the defensive line, gets it away from Son. Spurs have lost their shape defensively for a moment. Another opportunity for Salah on the right-hand side of the penalty area. It's pulled back towards Gravenberch, rides the initial challenge that comes in. He's round a second, he drives it in. It's deflected away by Spence. And out of play for another corner. And Arne Slot will be wanting a second goal here. Such is Liverpool's dominance. He won't want Spurs to still be level on aggregate going in at half-time. There's going to be another corner which will be taken over on that Liverpool right-hand side. It's their fifth of this first half. Gakpo making a darting run towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It goes over his head. The ball brought down by Salah, who killed it with his first touch. Played it back for Jones outside the penalty area with his second. Gravenberch goes back out towards Szoboszlai again. He's faced up by Richarlison. He's strode past him easily. Little reverse ball that Bentancur got in the way of. I don't know that he necessarily read it. Spurs are going to be able to clear. Richarlison through the midfield. Bentancur down towards Kulusevski. It does get there. The ball saw Robertson just take the pace off the delivery by sticking out a left foot. And that meant that Kulusevski, by the time he got it, hadn't got verdant green grass to drive into. Liverpool with their shape back. And Spurs will come again in the next phase of play. But Kulusevski's got it again. Gray making a run ahead of him. So too Richarlison. It opens up for Kulusevski. And Spurs' first shot of the night ends up 15 rows back in the Kop.
Yes, it's really good play from Danzo, actually. He sets a tempo. He goes back to Kinski in the initial build-up where Liverpool got back and recovered well, but then he shows and offers again. As soon as he gets it on the edge of the area on the right-hand side, turns and punches a really fizzy ball into Kulusevski, who then turns and he's driving at the back line of Liverpool. A little bit more brave, a little bit better from Spurs. I've just written on my notes, Jim, the midfield for Spurs, poor. And just got to do something at that at half-time. They're getting ran over and they're not even doing well with the ball. They just keep giving the ball away. And secondly, the midfield runners for Liverpool have got to be showing a few clips and just say, just keep going, because you're going to get in 1v1 at some point. This midfield battle is all Liverpool at this moment in time. And how many times have we seen 50-50s that should have probably gone in Spurs' favour, and Liverpool have won every single one? Son had one, Gravenberch has come through him very easily, then gone to Sarr, 50-50, gone through him easily. You've got to win your battles, and that's the basics of football. And at this moment in time,
it is all Liverpool, and it's only going to end up with Liverpool scoring 2, 3 and 4 goals.
Well, it's interesting you talk about that midfield, Troy, because this is what Spurs' 38th game of the season in all competitions. The first time these three have started together. Bissouma, Bentancur and Sarr. Last time they started together was here at Anfield, back in the back end of last season, and they shipped in 4 that day.
Yeah, you can see why, because just looking down at it, you don't know who's the holding midfielder. They're all in a perfect line, all 3 of them. There's no breakaway from any of them. There's not one's a 6 and there's 2 8s. All 3 of them in the same line. So when Liverpool run past them, it's just running into an empty space, and they don't have the legs to get back, and it's really poor. I think Richarlison's gone down. He's injured again.
I'll tell you something, the way that he's smacking the ground in frustration, would have you believe that this is potentially more serious than others. Here's Kanate. He's able to play on. It's up to the referee to stop the game. It's not up to Liverpool. Jones working down towards the left-hand side for Cody Gakpo, tonight's goal scorer. Good ball inside the area. Left-footed volley. And Kinski helps it on its way over the bar. Well met by Salah. He sent a bouncing bomb into the deck. And Kinski threw up a left hand at it. And it will be a corner, but only after the referee has run most of the length of the pitch back towards the Kop to see what Richarlison's problem is.
It looks like his calf's gone. And the problem Richarlison's got is all of the work that he did in the first couple of minutes of winding up and going down is now coming back to bite him on the backside. I'm actually feel really sorry for him. He can't catch a break. And again, we're going to say, oh, by the way, there's another injury for Spurs, but how many times are we going to see players coming back and getting injured again? They must be doing something on the training pitch or in the medical staff, because they keep breaking down, Jim. This is not one or two. This is like 14, 15 injuries now. You can make an argument for ACLs in Dragons. You can't do anything about that. The Vicario with his ankle. But so many soft tissue injuries, and now you're having to bring on your new signing with what? A minute and a half left of normal time going into injury time, which now is 7 minutes because of how many stoppages. He's not up to speed. That's why you put him on the bench. But you're having to throw these people in because of poor, in my opinion, poor management from the sports scientists and the physio room. You can't keep having these injuries. You've got to look into it. You have to look into it.
Now, so Richarlison is making his way off the field. He's only made his first Premier League starts in 8 months over the last 10 days. And he doesn't have a goal-scoring night at Anfield tonight, a ground where he's got such a good record. But he leaves the field, and Mathys Tel comes on to replace him. Well, here's a chance to make yourself an instant hero. 19-year-old that they signed on loan from Bayern with a £45 million option. And Tel comes on as we start 7 minutes of added time. We started with another Liverpool corner. Szoboszlai in towards the near post. It's headed away. Comes back out for him again. He got there ahead of Bentancur. Sends a high up and under that the goalkeeper should have caught. And instead he just punched it away. Straight out for another corner. Wasn't even a good punch. It's come off the side of his hand. Gone behind for a corner. And no shout for him there, quite clearly, because there was nobody coming in. It was an easy, routine catch for him.
But Jim, just go and catch it. Don't have to go and punch it. And if you're going to punch it, don't punch it out for a corner. Honestly, Spurs are trying to press the self-destruct button at this moment in time. How can we make it more difficult for us? You got a couple of minutes left. Come and catch it. Go down. Just kill the game. You got a new man in, and they go, no, you know what we'll do? We'll make it even more difficult for us, Jim. That's what we'll do.
Robertson to take this latest corner, which is Liverpool's 7th. Plenty of whip on that, but it's easily headed away by Bentancur at the near post. 1-0 on the night to Liverpool, 1-1 on aggregate, with Bergvault's goal from last month being cancelled out tonight by Cody Gakpo. Bradley goes back for Kelleher, and he'll work it out towards the right-hand side of the box. So, not the circumstances really for Tel to play. He is playing through the middle. He's a very versatile player, can play off either wing, prefers the left, but through the middle as well. His last goal on the last day of last season. Van Dijk almost embarrassed there by Kulusevski. In fact, Spurs have got possession back. Ball worked down towards Sarr. Sarr for Spence, and back again. And then perhaps Sarr put under pressure by Cody Gakpo. He's more than happy to work it back inside his own half for Anthony Kinski. Kinski with a right-footed ball over the top. Looks like offside against Son. Play goes on for now. His first touch actually made the flag academic. He was offside. It does come up against him anyway. We played the first 3 of the 7 additional minutes. Liverpool 1, Spurs 0 the score. Now the ball is worked out towards that Liverpool right-hand side again for Sarr. Liverpool just calming things down. It's not a relentless tempo by any stretch of the imagination. They cannot go up through the gears very quickly. When they've got it as they have at the moment inside their own half, they're more than happy just to try and draw the Tottenham press.
But you see what they're doing now. They're just keeping it across the back, but it's making Kulusevski think he can get it, so he's gone running after it. Bentancur's go running after it, and it allows space just in behind. So for Liverpool, this is a perfect opportunity now to go and get a second, because for some reason, with a few minutes left, when Spurs should be sitting in and waiting and just go, let's get to half time, they're going the opposite way.
Bradley clipping it in, Jones attacking it, got his head to it, and it's deflected away from his header, out of play for corner number 8, which will be taken over on the Liverpool right-hand side.
Good defending from Jed Spencer. They switched over for the corner, and he's just done his job really well, because again, that's Curtis Jones running beyond the midfield, beyond the centre-back, but he goes inside and gets the head on it. Feels like there's another one coming now, doesn't it, Jim?
Well, Spurs desperately need it not to come before half-time. In comes this latest corner, and that's swung actually outside the penalty area, bounces on the edge of the box. There was much more whip on that than Dominic Szoboszlai intended. Bradley plays it back out, well, I was going to say to Szoboszlai, almost in his general direction. It was Bradley's worst touch of the night, straight out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Kinski away to our left-hand side. Not just live football here on the TalkSport network, of course. We've got the commentary rights to the massive rematch between Beterbiev and Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight world titles. That's February the 22nd. Some card as well, one of the very best, with Daniel Dubois against Joseph Parker, Hamza Shiraz, Joshua Boazzi, all in action on the undercard. And it's coming up for you on the TalkSport network, your home of boxing. And we've also got a choice of listening for you tonight over on TalkSport 2. Right now, Arsenal just equalised from the penalty spot in the early stages of the second half. Mariona Caldante. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1 in the Women's League Cup semi-final tonight. Here at Anfield, it's 1-0 to Liverpool. 5.5 gone in the second half. If you know Alan Brazil, you might want to know the score in that game at Boreham Wood tonight. It was a lively breakfast show this morning, I think it's fair to say. And big man back with Ray Parler tomorrow morning from 6, and Barry Hearn's going to be on the show as well with the pair of them. That's from 6 tomorrow morning here on TalkSport Breakfast. There's Kelleher, plays the ball out towards the right-hand side for Kanate. Back he goes for Kraveen Kelleher again. Another just run from a midfielder or a defender. It was Robertson that time, trying to get in between Gray and Danso. The quality of the ball wasn't all that it might have been, and in fact the offside flag was up against him. So Spurs have a free kick midway inside their own half. 1-0 to Liverpool in the last minute or so of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Troy?
A huge moment in Ange Postecoglou's Spurs career of what can he do to tweak and change his team. If it carries on like this, as I said earlier, with no exaggeration, it's going to be 3 or 4-0 to Liverpool, because they're just going to make changes, add a little bit more value. At the moment, Spurs are caught between trying to play and people hiding, and you can't carry anybody in this type of thing. This midfield is being ran all over, being passed all over. I'm really interested to hear what Jamie's got to say about this on the way home, to be totally honest with you, as a midfielder that used to play there. But for right now,
Salah finds Bradley, and as he won another corner, there's a little double ricochet. It's out of play for a goal kick.
Half-time.
And that is half-time, a half in which Liverpool have been completely dominant. Just the one goal to show for it, and Spurs hanging in there through the opening half hour or so would have been happy at the relative shortage of opportunities that Liverpool were creating. But the longer the half went on, the more the chances came. We get to half-time, 11 shots to 1 in Liverpool's favour. Just the one goal from Cody Gakpo. It's 1-1 on aggregate with 45 minutes to come. Hugh?
Yes, I'm actually kind of surprised by the statistics. 73% possession to Liverpool in that first half almost seems like too much. As you mentioned, 11 shots, 4 of those on target, just one shot for Spurs. Their XG 0.02, 0.7 for Liverpool. But after the goal has come from Cody Gakpo, there's really felt, Troy, like there has been only one team in it. It's almost like we've been waiting for that second. It's almost a bigger surprise that we didn't get one before half-time there, because Liverpool have been so dominant, and this game really feels like I say, only one team can go on to win it right now. What have Liverpool done well in that first half? What are Spurs doing badly, if you like?
Liverpool have believed in their approach and what they're going to do. They've clearly identified that they can just run in behind. You run in behind from any angle, and Spurs won't track the runners. I do think it's going to be a massive team talk for Ange Postecoglou in terms of can he tweak that midfield, because that midfield is null and void. I would expect to see 2 changes, to be fair. I'd expect to see them try and bring on Bergvall in there to add a bit more presence. I think he's been their best midfielder all season in terms of how much game he's actually had. I probably would expect as well, in a really weird way, Pedro Porro to come on.
Change shape?
No,
possibly?
Allow for Archie Gray to go in the middle, play in his actual position, be a bit more aggressive, have a presence in there that can actually take the ball and pass it 5 yards to one of their own players. Because at the minute, this midfield three is just hiding and they're going missing. The one key factor that could play to Spurs' hand is they are kicking into their own fan base. That is a little bit where the fans could get up and expect to see a little bit
if they
more.
get close enough to them.
That is very, very true as well. But also, I don't like to highlight individuals normally. Do you remember Son in that game?
It's been a story of his season, really. He seems to be tailing off now. We go through a lot of games and we know what talent there is there. We just haven't seen it so far this season, and whether that is age, just catching up with him a little bit, I don't know. But listen, he has the captain's armband on a night like this away at Anfield. You need your captain to stand up and be counted.
Yeah, I don't buy into the age one. You can run in behind. You can say, give me the ball.
Listen, you say that. Whether it's the style of play, whether it's the training, I don't know. But when Tottenham do turn the ball over, when they do have a chance to counter-attack, Troy, everyone's wading through mud, through sand in that Spurs team.
It's called desire. That's all it is. It's called desire.
They look exhausted. Well, you used the term dead on their feet in the first half.
That's because it's desire to do it. You know, to run without the ball is the hardest thing to do in football. When you've got the ball, everyone goes, oh, look how good I am. When you haven't got the ball and you've got to burst and go from box to box, we'll watch it after this game. When the chat is, they'll be all out here afterwards, won't they, doing 10 box-to-boxes. What we're going to see now is a belief that, you know what, we can keep the ball. I trust my teammate that he can keep it. Kulusevski, when he gets the ball in the bottom right-hand corner and runs and gets a corner at the opposite end, he wasn't tired. So I don't believe it. It's about desire. It's about commitment to do it. The hard yards at Liverpool is in your brain, not in your legs.
Is it a little bit about belief as well, possibly? I wonder if Spurs have come here truly believing they can get the result they need away at Anfield to take them through to the Carabao Cup final. We'll be back with Troy Deeney and Jim Proudfoot very, very quickly. The performance of the two sides here in the first half couldn't be more stark. Liverpool just far more sharp, fitter, faster, and look like, despite the scoreline just being 1-0, they're going to go on to a very healthy victory this evening. We see a couple of players warming up. Harvey Elliott, I think that is, alongside Jarrell Quansah. No Spurs players out warming up. A few choice words, I imagine, coming from their manager, Ange Postecoglou, in the changing room right now. At the break at Anfield, Liverpool lead Spurs by a 1-0, 1-1 on aggregate. OK, let's get the half-time odds next on TalkSport, all thanks to Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Well, I don't think the bookmakers are too silly. Liverpool to hold on and win this game inside 90 minutes, 1-12 on. The draw in 90 minutes is 8-1, and for Tottenham to win in 90 minutes, 25-1. There'll be other odds as well in case this game does go to extra time and penalty, so make sure you check it out. That was all thanks to Ladbrokes. It's 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Live action ongoing for you over on TalkSport 2, the Women's League Cup semi-final. 66 minutes on the clock. Still Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. You can listen to it on the TalkSport app. Seamlessly move between events here at Anfield and Meadow Park. You, of course, can hear it on your DAB radio or just ask your smart speaker for TalkSport 2. Chesterfield lead Doncaster by 2-1 in League 2 as well. That match at half-time. Cody Gakpo, the man who has drawn Liverpool level here with his 5th goal in the Carabao Cup this season. As it stands, extra time beckons. I expect more goals after the break. It's Liverpool 1, Spurs 0 on the night, 1-1 in aggregate. A meeting with Newcastle at Wembley beckons. As I say, the second half to come. Stay with us.
Kick off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
The TUI sale is now on. Book today and save up to £300 per booking. Holiday, here we come. Lock in your getaway with a £0 deposit when you spread the cost by direct debit. Holiday deal? Sorted. TUI. Live happy. Atoll and ABTA protected. Booking T's and C's apply. Selected departures. Minimum spend applies. Direct debit minimum 26 weeks from departure. See website for details.
There's not a lot of good news about at the moment, so here's a picture of a kitten to cheer you up. Okay, it's radio, so you can't see it, and it's actually a bloke in his mid-40s. But try this Saturday's TalkSport Bet broadcast boost instead. Birmingham versus Newcastle. Newcastle to win, both teams to score, and over 2.5 Birmingham card. Latest price 19-5, broadcast boosted price 9-2. For more odds and offers to gladden your heart, check TalkSportBet.com. Fluffy Bunny broadcaster, bring it on bookie. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Tired of unreliable broadband? Switch to EE today and get up to £300 towards your leaving fee.
£300?
Really? Yes, really. You'll get our fastest full fibre ever.
So I can work at home?
While the kids nail dance practice.
And I can help them revise online?
That's right. We'll even handle the switch for you.
That's epic.
No wonder broadband switchers choose EE.
Get up to £300 towards any early termination charges from your current provider credited to your EE account. New customers, 50% UK availability. Terms apply.
Julie could part exchange her car. Or check out We Buy Any Car. She could be unsure if she got a good deal part exchanging. Or have cash in the bank with more bargaining power to get a bigger car for her five-a-side team. Totally played. Or total player. To get a quote in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
It's past 7 p.m. and your money's winding down. Why not keep it working while you rest? Download the XTB app and let your money work for you. Buy stocks and ETFs commission-free. Invest passively with investment plans. Open an ISA account. Earn up to 4.75% interest on uninvested funds and more. XTB, where your money works.
Your capital is at risk. XTB Limited is a global fintech, not a bank. Deposits should be made for investment purposes only. T's and C's apply.
Total football is about teamwork. It's built on trust, support, and responsibility. Livescore Bet sees responsible gambling in the same way. So if you're under the cosh, it's time to slow the tempo down. We've got tips and advice on how to stay in total control of your betting. Visit the safer gambling section of livescorebet.com to learn more. Livescore Bet. Total betting. Bet responsibly. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
With over 150 years of heritage, supporting clubs from grassroots to Wembley Stadium, it's the cup competition where dreams are made. The Emirates FA Cup. And this season, TalkSport has teamed up with Carling, the beer of football, to bring you unbeatable coverage of every game, every goal, and every giant-killing upset.
And it's sensational.
Hear full coverage of the Emirates FA Cup on TalkSport with Carling. Brilliantly refreshing from the first sip to the last. 18+. Always drink responsibly.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. On DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Live football coverage that's beyond compare.
A quite fabulous goal.
The League Cup live
on TalkSport.
Gravenberch finding Salah. Salah clipping it in. Right footed from Gakpo. And it's the League Cup specialist that does it again. We get to half-time, 11 shots to 1 in Liverpool's favour. Just the one goal from Cody Gakpo. It's 1-1 on aggregate with 45 minutes to come.
So Cody Gakpo's first half goal has put Liverpool level on aggregate with Spurs in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, live here on TalkSport. And Arne Slot's team have begun to turn the screw towards the end of that first half as they began to pile on the pressure and look for a second, which could well come in the early stages of the second half, which will be with you very shortly here on TalkSport. I've got to say the entire Liverpool bench has been out here warming up, sharpening themselves ahead of the second half. Not a single Spurs substitute has been out here. Now, whether Ange Postecoglou feels like his instructions are so important that those players need to be in the changing room, I don't know. But at this stage, it's clear Liverpool are feeling a lot more relaxed than Tottenham Hotspur, and they've got every reason to, as I mentioned. You're listening to Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. It's 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Remember, Sports Bar is going to be open for business this evening. Jamie O'Hara, I'm sure he's got his head in his hands at this point, and Jason Cundy's probably rubbing his hands together. They'll be taking your calls. The phone line's open already. Get your calls in 03717 223344. You can let us know what you think about the performance of both teams this evening. Still could be, by the way, a long way to go. So if we do go to extra time, if we do go to penalties, Sports Bar will be with you at the conclusion. Troy Deeney shaking his head explicitly at me. It's a possibility, Troy, a slim one, but a possibility nonetheless. Of course, Sports Bar will be with you right at the end of that game. And look at this, Matisse Tell, who came on at the end of the first half of Tottenham Hotspur, is now out doing a warm-up in earnest with one of the fitness coaches of Tottenham Hotspur. He's already on the pitch, but he still has to warm up ahead of this second half. He will be an important player if Spurs are going to bring themselves back into it. Of course, 19 years old, making his debut after his move from Bayern Munich earlier on this week. Remember, this is just the start of a very busy weekend across the TalkSport network. We'll have more live football tomorrow night, live from Old Trafford. An important one for Ruben Amorim's Manchester United. They host Leicester City in the FA Cup 4th round. Saturday lunchtime, we're at Leyton Orient, see if they can take the huge scalp of Manchester City. 12:15 kickoff for that one before FA Cup Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Darren Bent and Mickey Gray. All the goals as they go in from games including Wigan against Fulham, Coventry against Ipswich, Southampton against Burnley as well. 5:45 on TalkSport is Birmingham City against Newcastle, and at 8 p.m. it'll be Brighton against Chelsea in the FA Cup as well. 2 live games for you on TalkSport, 2 on Saturday, 12:15, a big one between Leeds and Millwall at Ellen Road, and at 3 p.m. it'll be Everton against Bournemouth, an all Premier League affair. Sunday, 12:30, Blackburn against Wolves. At 3 o'clock it's Plymouth Argyle against Liverpool, and at 5:35 we will have Aston Villa against Tottenham Hotspur. So a big Sunday of live football here on TalkSport. All rounds off on TalkSport 2 on Monday night with Doncaster Rovers against Crystal Palace. A big weekend ahead of us, as I mentioned, in both Cup and League. Over on TalkSport 2, still ongoing, Manchester City and Arsenal level in the Women's League Cup semi-final. Troy Deeney alongside me, the former Watford captain. Let's very quickly take a look ahead to this second half. I was saying a few moments ago during the break that if I was Ange Postecoglou, I probably would have changed shape, and I know you were saying it, you know, in that first half commentary. He needs to do something with the midfield. There has to be a change in that area. Rodrigo Bentancur, Yves Bissouma, Pape Sarr seem to have no relationship on a football pitch. You can't come away against this midfield that Liverpool have, albeit Alexis McAllister not in the starting lineup tonight, but they've been fantastic in that midfield area, whether it's him, whether it's Curtis Jones, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai. Tonight, pulling the strings once again. What does Ange Postecoglou do to change that area of the pitch?
You can probably match them up. You can go with a deeper lying midfielder and have 2 8s. I just don't see who the sitter is. They're in a perfect line between the 3 of them. So any one run or any one forward pass takes all 3 of them out of the game. I'm just looking at Liverpool's bench. You say McAllister, Harvey Elliott, Jota, Diaz, Endo. There's 6 players there that you can all do different things. When I look at this Spurs bench, I don't get they've got injuries. We've all heard it to death. But they're all the same. Every player that would come in would be the same. There's no plan B. So when you talk about changing shape, I don't think they will change shape, because they believe this is the way to do it. Ange believes this is the way to do it. I'd just like to see a tweak in there from players on the pitch, and we've been there. And again, Jamie and Jason will talk about it on the sports bar. But there's times when the manager says, go out, do this, do that, when you go, right, for 5 minutes we're just going to do this, and just settled into a game. At the moment, I think it's a cop-out that they can turn around and go to the manager. Manager said do that, so we're doing it. And then if it goes wrong, it's his fault, not ours. I'm really disappointed with how they've been so far.
Well, the whole Spurs team is huddled away to our right-hand side. A few final words from their captain, Heung-min Son. The Liverpool players and fans inside Anfield feeling very relaxed. But it is still 1-1 on aggregate. Liverpool lead 1-0 against Spurs on the night. The second half, live on TalkSport with the former Watford captain, Troy Deeney, and TalkSport's Jim Proudfoot.
And there are no more changes in personnel. Spurs not making any substitutions now. Brought Tell on for Richarlison at the end of the first half. The ball is with Kelleher. We're back underway. Liverpool in all red, kicking from left to right towards the Kop, leading 1-0 on the night. It's 1-1 on aggregate after Cody Gakpo's goal on 34 minutes. But the bottom line is Spurs are still very much in it. Darwin Núñez towards the edge of the penalty area, clipping one in. It's Mo Salah onto his left foot. They might not be in it. They are still. Drilled in towards the bottom right-hand corner. And Kinski got down and got a left hand to it, was able to tip it away.
Good play again from Gakpo, but it's the same thing that happened before. That he's ran past 5 players. No one's laid a glove on him. Played a lovely ball inside to Núñez. Tries to help it onto Salah. It just about gets there. And Salah then takes his little touch on his left foot. Jed Spence can't dive in. It's a good save from Kaminsky just round the post. Interestingly though, Jim, Spurs have sent out Pedro Porro, Mickey Moore and Bergvall. So clearly looking at changes very quickly in the second half.
In comes Liverpool's corner in towards the near post. And it's repelled, put straight back out for another corner, which takes the corner count up into double figures. And Robertson will come across to take this latest one. Szoboszlai was on corner duty for most of the corners in the first half, but Andy Robertson measuring this one up. Left-footed, in swinging towards the near post. Kinski got something on it, and it was a crucial stop. It might have been Szoboszlai that got the flick header at the near post. Kinski standing firm, threw up a hand, beat it away to keep the status quo. Liverpool come again on the other side of the penalty area with a low ball that was in. Danso clears that shot from Gakpo from in front of his goalkeeper. Goes back out for Cody Gakpo again. Liverpool with a good start to this second half as they look for the goal that will give them the lead overall in this tie for the first time. Bradley getting the ball and working it back here for Kevin Kelleher.
All Liverpool again. Nothing's changed from that half-time team talk, and then especially from the little huddle from the Spurs just before they started. Interestingly, just looking down at Tell, screaming at his team to get forward, come and put some pressure on. Looks like he's got a little bit of character about him. I hope we get to see the best of him, not only tonight but moving forward.
Yeah, the 19-year-old had a warm-up about 3 or 4 minutes long before play resumed. Jed Spence battling here has won a free kick. The referee did his best to allow the advantage. Craig Pawson. There wasn't really any, and as a consequence Spurs get a free kick just inside their own half. Tell came out and had quite a vigorous warm-up and was doing his bit to try and whip the fans up as well. A very passionate young man, the 19-year-old. The bottom line is he has played 80-odd games for Bayern Munich in his career, and you don't do that as a teenager without having a prodigious amount of talent. Spurs trying to squeeze the ball through towards Kulusevski on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Robertson gets that one away, and it goes out of play for a throw that Spurs will take midway inside the Liverpool half over on the far touchline. They've taken it quickly. They're back through the midfield towards Bissouma, and then Bentancur plays it back towards Kevin Danso.
Yeah, he's had a good start, Tell. We've mentioned him more than we have Son already in the first 10 seconds.
Salah, good ball inside the penalty area. Kinski came out. Now, did he withdraw his hands? No, he didn't. It is a penalty to Liverpool. He raced out for the ball that he stood little chance of getting. Darwin Núñez making his way forward. It's all about the touch from Salah. Delicious little ball with plenty of topspin on it. Núñez coming, and as soon as Kinski didn't make any contact, he was really struggling. Towed past him. Contact inevitable, and a penalty for Liverpool to take a 2-1 aggregate lead.
Self-destruct again from Spurs. Honestly, I'm getting tired of saying the same things. It's a simple pass from Salah just into the channel, allowing for Núñez to use his pace and running behind. That high line's too high again. Kinski already made his mind up that he was going to go down. Second Núñez takes a touch past him, he just leaves his legs there because he's nowhere near it. And the best part about it was before the referee had even blew his whistle, Kinski had already put his arm up to say he'd give away a pen. Spurs just pressing that self-destruct button. Mo Salah again with an opportunity for Liverpool to take the lead.
scored against Tottenham in the 2019 Champions League final. This penalty much more cut and dried than that one was. He stands in front of the Kop. Player who's got 14 goals against Spurs in his career, including 6 in his last 6. This to give Liverpool a 2-0 lead on the night and a 2-1 lead on aggregate with 50 minutes of the second leg play. He runs, hits it, left-footed, straight into the top left-hand corner. It's a brilliant penalty. Nerveless. And Anfield is delighted by the scenes of celebration right in front of the Kop. 2-0 up on the night, they're very good value for it. And Spurs have a man in decline now.
Wonderful, wonderful composure from Mohamed Salah. Great penalty, high to the right-hand side. No keeper saving that, even if he goes the right way. But honestly, just watching this Spurs team, that ball's gone in, they've scored. There's no one digging each other out. There's a lot of clapping and come on, maybe. It's the same, self-inflicted. But as we said beforehand, nothing has changed, and you expect this Liverpool team to come out and score a second and a third. It's took them 2.5 minutes to get into it. Jim, unfortunately, you can just see how this game's going to play out.
Well, Liverpool have gone through to the final on 2 of the last 3 occasions when they've lost the first leg of a League Cup semi, and it looks as though it may well happen again. Spurs have to be much more proactive now, chasing the game for the first time. Son beaten by Bradley, who then pokes it down towards Szoboszlai. And Konate may be guilty of just trying to overplay it a little bit. Then Bentancur loses out as Liverpool get it forward. Nunez, Salah in so much space on the right-hand side, making his way forward towards the edge of the area. Fashions the ball in with the outside of the left boot, and a way-swinging delivery that Spurs can knock away, and then Spence wins a throw. The Spurs have got to completely change the game plan now. It can't be one of containment. They've got to come out and have a go.
Well, maybe that'll help them, but again, keep saying it, there's no midfield. They're just getting run all over. By the way, Conor Bradley, who is a very, very good right-back, he's making Son look like a young man. It's men versus boys at this moment in time. And weirdly, as the game's gone to 2-0, a couple of Spurs players have stepped up. It's as if all the shackles have been taken off because they don't want any pressure. But Jed Spence has been excellent. The 2 centre-backs have been excellent. No midfield and nothing going forward, other than a young boy Tell who's just come on and obviously he's trying to make an impression. But the rest of them, unfortunately, have been embarrassing for 52 minutes of this game. They have to step up, Jim. Have to.
Well, this time last week, Spurs were in action against Elfsborg, and although there was never really any danger that it was going to go wrong for Spurs that night, when they brought the youngsters on, they played with that freedom. And I just wonder whether you can make a case for more coming on. Maybe for Damola Rajai, moving Kulusevski into a more central position at 10, because it's not working for Spurs the way things are at the moment. And that's not to take anything away from Liverpool, who've been excellent, thoroughly professional in getting the job done, and they are getting it done at the moment. 16 shots to 1 in Liverpool's favour, 71% possession, and Spurs needing to score to give themselves any chance of staying in the competition are still yet to have a single shot on target. We're 9 minutes into the second half here on the great TalkSport across the United Kingdom, Sirius XM-FC across North America. And as things stand right now, it's going to be a Liverpool-Newcastle United final in the middle of March right here. The ball is over on the Spurs right. It's a wonderful turn from Kulusevski. One of his best moments of the game. A nice reverse ball as well. Matisse Tell, right-hand side of the penalty area, and he's only hit the side netting with a shot from a very tight angle. It has taken a touch on its way through. Will be a Spurs corner. And the Tottenham players respond by trying to whip the crowd up again. It's going to be a double change. Bergvall and Porro are going to be brought on once this corner has been taken. Kulusevski, can he get the delivery right? Spots the ball down. Bit of pushing and shoving going on, involving Jones and Davis. Good delivery in from Kulusevski. Really good header away from Darwin Nunez. Took a step back, powered it clear from inside his penalty area. Spurs working with Bentancur, back for Spence. Spence to Sarr, still inside Liverpool territory. Spence with a heavy touch, his second became a tackle. Davis then lost that and has got to get back as quickly as he can because Salah's got the ball at his feet. And Sarr's done well, just stood firm and he stopped him finding a way through. Spurs winning possession back. Tell, who's got a big white bandage around his right wrist, does well to work it back towards Davis. He's covered a lot of ground. Then the ball goes out towards Gray. Gray with a hit and hope ball forward towards Kulusevski, which Robertson heads away. And it's out for a throw that'll be taken on the Spurs right. They're still getting the final instructions. The two Spurs subs. And Ange hasn't made the changes yet, but I think they will at the next break in play. It's 2-0 to Liverpool on the night, 2-1 on aggregate, with 9 minutes gone in the second half.
Yeah, like I said to you, Jim, weirdly, at 2-0 down, Spurs have decided to play. It's like the shackles have come off. It's like a freedom. No worries now, because if we go out, at least we tried. Really disappointing, but it's a real clear insight as to the mind state of this Tottenham team. Yes, they're young, but they're immature. They're not a team that embraces pressure. And I think they're going to see a couple of changes now, with Pedro Porro probably going in at left back. And I'd expect to see the midfielder change as well. So the first one looks like Sarr for you, Jim.
So Sarr off and Bergvall on. And Porro is going to replace Bissouma. So you'd imagine Porro the right back, as Troy said, and Gray will come into the midfield, into his more favoured role. Son's just looking over and asking for clarification as to exactly what is happening, but Gray is making his way in.
It's a change. So Archie Gray's going at left back, Pedro Porro right back, and Jed Spence is going high right. So they're allowing Spence to use his pace and be a bit more direct.
And Kulusevski's playing at 10 as a result of that.
Yeah, was what you said. Sorry, just looking down on it. Interesting that Bissouma decided to go past the Spurs fans to show just how much he cares, so they all can give him a little clap. Not having him one bit, Jim. Not one bit.
Son finding Lucas Bergvall, who was the villain in Liverpool's eyes in that first leg, and the hero in Spurs. Ball goes out towards Spence on the right-hand side of the penalty area now for Tottenham. So will this rejig formation and personnel be able to conjure something up? Ball inside the penalty area. Bradley calmly side foots it away through his penalty area. Spurs will build again from halfway with Davis. And he goes out towards the right-hand side. So Jed Spence, as Troy was saying, now playing on the right wing. Bergvall in the three in the centre of midfield. And he's further advanced than Bentancur. They've got Kulusevski, the most advanced of the lot, playing at 10. Gray now at left back, going back for Kinski. They play 58. It's Liverpool 2, Tottenham 0. Spurs next in action away to Villa, live on TalkSport in the FA Cup. And that's on Sunday, and it follows Liverpool's trip to Plymouth, which you won't hear anywhere else. The game's at 3 and 5:45 Sunday here on TalkSport. Bentancur from distance. It's another shot, but it came closer to the Liverpool fans on the top tier of the Anfield Road end than it did to the top right-hand corner.
But already, Jim, the changes have made Spurs a bit more free, a bit more game. I just wonder whether Ange will be more suited putting Son through the middle. I know he doesn't like to play there, but they're getting out into the wide areas. And because Tal is naturally a 10 or a wide man, he's coming short for the ball and he can't make those runs into the box. I just think maybe change Son and Tell and allow for Son to say, because he's not getting any change out of Bradley, you go through the middle, just be in there when the ball comes.
Kinski put under pressure by Liverpool's vibrant press, and all he could do in the end was sweep it away and put it out for a throw that'll be taken on the Liverpool right hand side by Conor Bradley. 2-0 to Liverpool. When Spurs were last here, they were 4 down inside an hour and then came back in the final half hour of that to score twice. And what they give to be able to come back with 2 goals unanswered in the final half hour tonight is how to get the job done for them. At the moment, Liverpool have been the better side, lead 2-0 on the night and 2-1 on aggregate. Kelleher has got a really good record in this competition. 17 League Cup ties he's had. It's quite a high proportion, more than a quarter of the games that he's played for Liverpool in all competitions have come in this one. Back towards Ryan Gravenberch. Him to Konate. Bradley getting it back from Salah, just playing round Son with ease there. Loose ball ricochets through the midfield, then off Bentancur to find Curtis Jones. Jones to Gakpo, left-hand side of the penalty area. Clipped in for Szoboszlai, and his header straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, Kinski.
It's kind of fallen back into that same pattern, hasn't it, Jim, of Liverpool dominance again. A couple of minutes of Spurs looking up for it, but oh God.
That's Kinski side-footing the ball out to Ben Davies and straight past him for a throw. Kinski, the hero of that first leg, struggled at times tonight. Bradley, and in towards the near post from Nunez, and Kinski scrambling, might have had it covered, the ball going into the side netting.
Do you think the striker Tell is thinking, I probably should have stuck with my original decision of not coming to Spurs?
No, you cynic. Well, he knows he's going to get opportunities now. Just joining us, Richarlison going off with what looked like a calf problem in the latter stages of the first half. Still no Solanke. There's a chronic shortage of players in various departments for Spurs, but all of a sudden number 9 is a massive problem for them. I don't know whether Kulusevski as a 9 is something that we might see in the next few games or so. Szoboszlai in possession for Liverpool, plays it back for Conor Bradley, who played 61 minutes. Liverpool a goal up on aggregate now. Salah turning the ball forward, found himself sandwiched between Gray and Davis, and it was knocked away. Son then played it back towards Gray and put him under all kinds of pressure. All he could do was get a touch to concede a throw. Son's done him no favours there.
Again, don't like to be nasty, but Son is surely only on this pitch due to reputation and what he's done before. He's done nothing. He's passing the blame whenever he gets the ball. Just passed it into Archie Gray with 2 people around him. Said, you deal with that. Showed no bravery, no leadership to even try and run Conor Bradley. It's like he's come to the conclusion, this is not my day. That's why I said earlier, Jim, I think maybe just move him into the striker part. Allow Tau to come wide and drift in and make things happen.
Salah playing it forward. Another Liverpool goal here. Could be Spurs lights out. Very nearly came. Cody Gakpo flashing one through the 6-yard box. Nobody could get a touch.
I think he hits the post, you know, Jim. Salah coming in off that left-hand side, growing into the game now, into Szoboszlai, and he does. He just lays a little ball into Gakpo. Really acute angle. Lets that left-footed shot go. And he hits the post. He actually hits the post and comes out for a throw-in. Again, Spurs got to do something. Just looking down, one player in Mikey Moore out there. You've got to do something. You've got to have a little bit of a change now, because all of those pep talks and all of the coaches that were out are not here now helping as they once were before the game.
Salah to Bradley. Salah loses possession. Bentancur winning it back fairly. Played back by him to Kevin Danso. And Danso turning, eventually able to get the ball out from underneath his feet to play down towards Ben Davis. Tell protecting the ball, going back towards Bentancur. Jones has won it back from him. And then Bentancur can't subsequently win it back from Gakpo, who wriggles away before the tall blonde-haired Swede Lucas Bergvall was in there to win it back. Ball over the top of Bradley's shoulder, who nervously looked over to see where it was going. Matis Tell chasing after it. Bradley did well with enough of a head start to be able to shepherd the ball out of play for a throw down by the corner flag. A clear, brisk Merseyside night. Plenty to infuse the Liverpool fans, though. They lead by 2-0.
That little passage of play there is a perfect encapsulation of this game. Tottenham play really well, get it out, go into Tally, sets it back into Bentancur. The obvious passage, just give it to Jed Spence. Let him go 1v1 against Andy Robertson. He dallies on it, he dallies on it, he dallies on it. Curtis Jones, who had just gone from pressing the goalkeeper, runs 20-30 yards, makes it up, wins the ball back, and then Liverpool are on the counter-attack again. The Spurs midfield is a real problem.
Robertson to Gakpo. Gakpo with a little reverse And Spurs red. Clearance down towards Son on the left-hand touchline, who in the end remedied the situation by nudging the ball into Bradley and out of play for a throw. He's got a good record, Son, against Liverpool. Though he hasn't scored in either game against them this season. He did net in each of his previous 5 matches against them. Has moved above Alan Gilzean in Tottenham's all-time appearance list tonight. He's up into 8th on the Spurs list. This is 440th appearance for the club, but at the moment it's not one that he'll look back on with a great degree of fondness. Bergvall has got himself involved in a little bit of a wrestling match with Curtis Jones and conceded a free kick. Taken by Salah to Bradley to Konate. Liverpool, the current holders of this competition, and as things stand at the moment, they're going to have a chance to defend the cup and try and win it on an 11th separate occasion, extending their record, beating Newcastle on March the 16th at Wembley. You will of course hear the game live on the mighty TalkSport. Kulusevski winning possession back, Darwin Núñez chasing after it, and he's done really well, sticks his foot in the crowd, loving that, has conceded a throw, but he's tracked back. And there's a great exhibition of industry to come and play almost as an auxiliary right back to deal with Kulusevski.
And there's the difference, Jim. There's no tiredness for Liverpool, by the way, who win in and go for a quadruple. Their striker, who has come under pressure, let's be honest, is working back from a centre-forward position into the right-back position, running past players to go and get the ball, showing a desire to get back in. In my opinion, and again, sound really harsh, but Spurs are hiding. They're hiding now. They're still in this game. One more goal, Jim, turns it around, turns the whole tie around. You're looking, it looks and it feels as if Liverpool are 5-0 up. There's no belief here that from any Spurs players that they can go and win the game.
Davis heads the ball away. The latest long one played forward from the Liverpool midfield. And then Spurs get a free kick as Danso is caught by Jones. That's a free kick the Spurs will take, only about 10 yards outside their own box. We're midway through the second half. Tottenham have scored 4 goals in their last 2 games against Liverpool. They need 1 in the final quarter of this one to take the game to extra time. And I know you're aware, but there's no away goals these days in these League Cup semi-finals. Spence making his way forward, checks on the corner of the penalty area. This is promising for Tottenham. Spence from a tight angle, near post. Put it wide of the near post and couldn't find Kulusevski. And it goes out of play for a goal kick that Kelleher will take. 2-0 to Liverpool with 68 minutes gone. 2 balls on the pitch just for a moment. Liverpool just indulging in a little bit, not a time wasting, but a little bit of match management, which is certainly an observation and not a criticism. Salah able to turn away easily from Davis, and then goes up through the gears and toe pokes it through towards Dominic Szoboszlai. Plenty of space on the left-hand side. The ball didn't get there, it was knocked away and put out of play by the retreating Bergvall for the latest in a long line of Liverpool corners. Don't forget the sports bar coming after us. 03717 22 33 44. Anybody seen Jamie O'Hara?
I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say on this. Do you get that feeling though, Jim, that sense of Spurs don't believe they can score?
I absolutely sense that Spurs don't believe they can score, which, when you consider how many league goals they have scored this season, averaging 2 a game, is uncharacteristic. In comes this latest in-swinging delivery, which is headed away and goes out of play for a goal kick. It was well attacked inside the 6-yard box by Konate, and he's down facing the ground, just holding his head for a moment. Szoboszlai comes across to make sure he's all right. And when Liverpool score the next goal, it is all over. But with it poised as it is, were Spurs to score, as things stand, it would take the game into extra time, and then they've certainly got a puncher's chance. It isn't all over yet. It feels as though it is. When you're looking at the dynamic of the game and sensing the atmosphere, it feels as though it's all over. But the reality in the scoreline is that it's anything but.
Yeah, and I think the best part to just show where Spurs are currently as opposed to Liverpool. Spurs have currently got 2 players coming on in Diego Jota and Harvey Elliott, and I think that shows just where they are in their circle of life and what they're trying to do. They can compete. When they make changes, those changes can be impactful, as opposed to Spurs having to try and figure it out a little bit on the way and kind of go off the cuff. You know, you got Jed Spence high right at the moment. He's done more in the 10 minutes he's been there than Son has in 70. You're just looking around at this Liverpool team. It looks a team that's cohesive, that know what they're doing, they believe in what they're doing, and it looks like a Spurs team to me that are looking for ways out. They're looking for excuses, and I've said it before, but I'll definitely be listening to Jamie on the way home and trying to hear what his take is, especially as a midfielder, someone that watches those positions. I just think it's been really disappointing.
Now here's Son for Spurs, rolling it down towards Archie Gray on the overlap for him. Left-footed ball clipped inside the penalty area. The flag was up. I think it just curved over the dead ball line before Kelleher punched it onto the roof of the net, which
I think the
was offside.
I think the Lino's got that wrong there. Happy to be proven wrong, but no, it doesn't go out at all. Also, Kelleher punched it off the bar.
Yeah, he punched it onto the bar and it went over. So here are the Liverpool changes. And a good ovation for Nunez as he makes way. Jota's going to come on for him. And Alexis McAllister, I think, is going to be replacing Curtis Jones. So McAllister for Jones. And Jota on as well. Jota, who scored in his last 2 appearances, but hasn't played in his last 5 games. Or the last 5 games because of injury. So Liverpool delighted to see him back. He's got 8 goals this season at a tidy rate of return. And he will lead the line for the 20 minutes that remain. Spurs still have the opportunity to extend that further into Thursday evening. At the moment, it's Liverpool 2-0 up on the night, 2-1 up on aggregate. And looking comfortable. Spurs still wait for their first shot on target of the night. Konate clipping one forward towards Bradley. It was a something or nothing ball. Bradley kind of dealt with it, but Kulusevski's able to pick it up. Little 1-2 between him and Gray as they come in off the Tottenham left, and then good strength from Kulusevski to get the better of Jota and working through the midfield for Bentancur. From him to Bergvall, Danso, who's shown his ability to push forward as a marauding centre-half. Finds Son, low ball in from him, but not the best. Danso picks it up next phase of play. Can't work it back to him. Tell did his best, and now Spurs have lost their shape as Liverpool try and break quickly, but Bentancur was ahead of Jota and was able to win it back.
Kulusevski looks a much better player, doesn't he, in the 10 gym? He looks like he's got that freedom to just roam, and to be fair, the boy Danzo at the back as well, he's looked well, considering that what they paid, 21 million for him potentially.
Yep.
He looks like he's got a bright future. Just a good ball.
Son will chase it. Kelleher's going to get there first. Yeah, Danso had half a dozen appearances in the Premier League when he was a Southampton player. They didn't go great. Sent off in one, and he suffered a 9-0 defeat in one of the others. Here's Gravenberch. So much space on the left-hand side for Cody Gakpo. Getting it onto his right foot. Back for Ryan Gravenberch again. The Dutchman to his right-hand side for Szoboszlai. And back! And then he's hit the post. Second time that Liverpool have hit the frame of the goal in the space of 5 minutes. This a low skidding effort that beat Kinski. Hits the outside of the left-hand post and ricochets into the hoardings in front of the Kop.
Really good play from Liverpool. Could have probably got in a bit earlier if the pass was properly from Gravenberch out to Gakpo, but unfortunately they recycle it back, and then they're just in a situation where it just looks like one more goal and the floodgates will open. I'm man-marking Son at the moment with my eyes and just watching him, and unfortunately he's not interested. He needs to come off. Bring one of the kids on, let them showcase what they can do, because he's not offering anything to this team at the moment.
Is that down to a lack of confidence?
Again, I'm not one that believes in confidence. Confidence comes from yourself. He knows how good he is and what he's done. Oh, is it
McAllister, Bradley, and this to win it. Liverpool will be at Wembley. Dominic Szoboszlai racing forward with the easy job of siphoning it past Kinski into the bottom right-hand corner. Liverpool 3, Tottenham 0, 3-1 up on aggregate. Merseyside, well, this half of it will be empty. In the middle of March, it will be a Liverpool-Newcastle final, and Spurs left to lick their wounds. It's been a performance that's been in keeping with their season. They've let themselves down tonight, they will feel. Second best all over the field, and Liverpool 3 up are going to Wembley.
Game, set, match. Again, turnover. It's a lovely ball in from McAllister. I thought it was Harvey Elliott that was coming on. It was McAllister that came on. Breakaway again. Mo Salah, selfless run, drags 2 or 3 people away, rolls the ball in through the middle of the pitch into Szoboszlai. 1v1, touch, finish. Job done. I really, really feel sorry for these Spurs fans that have travelled. This team has quit on the job. It genuinely has quit on the job.
Well, Szoboszlai scored at Spurs in December in the 6-3 win, and has scored tonight as Spurs lead 3-0, 3-1 on aggregate. And Tottenham with an opportunity to bring it forward, but Tell chasing a lost cause, can't get there. And Liverpool have it back. Songs of jubilation and of impending victory as far as Liverpool are concerned, who now get a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area with 13 minutes to go. Liverpool 3, Spurs 0, and Spurs need 2 to get this to extra time. And they still haven't had a shot on target tonight. Salah coming to meet it, flicked off by Szoboszlai, back towards Bradley, driven forward by him. And they go all the way through towards Kinski away to our right-hand side. Scarves being waved around the heads everywhere you look, except for the lower tier of the Anfield Road end away to our left-hand side. Those travelling Tottenham supporters will be frustrated. Tell getting it forward. That's a nice ball. Son, very little in the way of support, but he's making his way inside the penalty area. Little shimmy, trying to get the better of Konate, and he's actually hit the underside of the bar. And it's gone to safety from a Liverpool perspective, and Son looks up to the heavens. He can't believe that Spurs' best moment of the night hasn't seen them give themselves just a little bit of hope.
Welcome to the party. Son's eventually got here. Really good play from Tell, goes into the area, takes it on the back foot, and he just plays a delightful little ball inside his own half, out to Son, just inside of Konate, allows Son to run onto it, on the angle, little step over, gets a shot off, hits the underside of the bar. Really, really difficult angle. But when you look at it, he probably has done too little too late. We spoke about it earlier. 3-0 down, now players want to show up. This is when it's easy. Give me the ball at this point, it's easy. It doesn't matter if we make mistakes. I just think some of these Spurs players have really let themselves down.
Gray finding Kulusevski. Kulusevski towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's well blocked by Ryan Gravenberch. And Liverpool can just play it forward calmly, sensibly. Salah to McAllister. And his ball forward, mopped up by Dominic Szoboszlai. Now Konate coming outside the penalty area. Spurs are going to have to regroup quickly ahead of that FA Cup tie at Villa, which is of even more significance now. It'd be interesting to hear your views on the Sports Bar on 03717 223344 about how this changes things, if it does change anything as far as Ange's long-term future is concerned in your view, Spurs mind. The ball on the edge of the penalty area with a little deflection from Robertson's shot, which just takes a touch on its way through and goes into the cop and out of play for another corner. 11 to go, and Liverpool are 3-1 up on aggregate here on TalkSport.
Feel like another one's coming, Jim. They're just breaking through Spurs with ease, going from right to left, very, very easy. A couple of Spurs players coming back. Looks like Mikey Moore, potentially Reguilon down there, coming on as well. But if I was Ange, I'd be putting these young kids on, see what it's like and see what they're up to, but unfortunately seems like the same of the same.
Now Liverpool are going to make a double change as well. Elliott and Diaz will be coming on for them. So a corner to Liverpool on the far corner as we look at it in front of the Kop. It's another in-swinging delivery, and it's another goal. So simple. Virgil van Dijk makes it 4. Delivery towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Van Dijk came to meet it, and the man that scored the winner in the final last season will be leading them out in the final this. Liverpool 4, Tottenham 0. It's the cue for the Exodus. The race for the M6 begins for the Spurs fans. They have seen enough. And you sense they've seen enough not just tonight, but they've seen enough with the way things have been going for a while. Yes, there are mitigating circumstances, but this is an unseemly night that's been in keeping with much of Tottenham's hugely disappointing season. Spurs 4 down, 4-1 down on aggregate, and they're going to be beaten semi-finalists.
Big Virgil van Dijk showing leadership, showing power. Lovely ball into the area, but just the desire to go and head that ball over 2 Spurs players just shows the difference in class and quality. For Spurs and for Ange, unfortunately, it's going to be very lonely. A lot of soul searching, a lot of questions. But I worry now. I really do worry, Jim, for him, not only for tonight, but a massive game against Aston Villa in the FA Cup. Huge for their season. He's got to get some out of these players because they're not giving anything at this moment in time. And it looks like to me a little change in formation as well. Now Archie Gray's gone from a right back to left back to centre half by the looks of it.
Well, Ben Davies has come off and Mikey Moore has come on. So Gray's moved into centre half and Spence is going to come to left back and Moore will go out to the right wing. Liverpool have made a double change. Gakpo and Salah off, and they are replaced by Diaz and Elliott. Kelleher driving the ball forward into Tottenham territory, chested down by Gray, who's now played in 3 of the 4 positions across that Spurs back line tonight. And he finds Kevin Danso. Danso side-footing the ball out towards the right-hand touchline. Spurs work it forward. Kelleher is across to mop up. Van Dijk scored the 4th goal, couldn't get the touch to work it forward effectively. Diaz can get it out towards the left-hand side. Jota waiting in the middle. Elliott, who's just come on and marked at the far post. There's no Spurs player anywhere near him. He's across the edge of the 6-yard box and Spence is there to clear. Ball brought down towards the edge of the centre circle, and Liverpool will build it in a deeper, more central area with Van Dijk. Robertson just lets the ball deliberately run underneath his foot, but it just got to the touchline quicker than he anticipated, and he goes out of